You know what's fascinating about human nature? We often think having someone physically present is the ultimate form of connection. But today, we're exploring how Jesus challenged that assumption with a radical promise that his spiritual presence would actually be better than his physical one.
That's such an intriguing perspective, and it really makes you think about how we view relationships and presence in our modern world, too.
Well, what's particularly striking is how Jesus frames this promise. He uses this Greek word parakletos, which means someone called alongside to help. But he's not just talking about having a helper nearby, he's describing something far more intimate.
Hmm. So it's like the difference between having a guide walking next to you versus having their wisdom and strength actually flowing through you?
That's exactly right. And you know what's fascinating? When Jesus says, I will not leave you as orphans, he's not just making a comforting statement. He's announcing a completely new way that humans would be able to experience God's presence.
Well, that must have been pretty mind blowing for the disciples to hear. I mean, they're used to having Jesus physically there with them, and now he's describing something that probably seemed impossible to imagine.
Oh, for sure. And what's really interesting is how Jesus connects this promise to both love and obedience. He keeps emphasizing that if you love him, you'll keep his commands. But here's the key: he's not just giving them a moral checklist,
So, what's he offering instead?
he's promising the actual power to follow through. You know, it's like imagine someone handed you a complex piece of technology, but no power source. That's religion without the Holy Spirit. But Jesus is saying, I'm not just giving you instructions, I'm giving you the power source.
That's such a powerful analogy, and it really highlights how this isn't just about supernatural experiences, but about practical, everyday transformation.
Right. And what's particularly fascinating is how this connects to peace. Jesus makes this really clear distinction between worldly peace and his peace. He says, Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives.
You know what strikes me about that? He's offering this incredible promise of peace right before he's heading to face the cross. That's pretty remarkable timing.
Oh, that's such a crucial observation. He's not speaking from a position of comfort. He's about to face the most challenging moment of his earthly life. Yet he's absolutely confident in this peace he's describing.
Well, that really challenges our modern understanding of peace, doesn't it? We often think of peace as the absence of problems.
Exactly. But Jesus is describing something much more profound, a peace that can exist in the middle of chaos. And what's really fascinating is how he connects this to the work of the Holy Spirit. It's not just about having access to divine power, it's about having divine presence.
That reminds me. You mentioned earlier about this being a new way humans could experience God. Could you expand on that?
Well, think about it historically. Throughout the Old Testament, God's presence was often limited to specific places or specific people at specific times. But what Jesus is describing here is revolutionary. God's Spirit living within believers, available at all times.
That's quite a shift in how people could relate to God.
And you know what's particularly meaningful about this? Jesus uses this term, another advocate. The Greek word allos specifically means another of the same kind. He's saying the Spirit would be exactly like him, not a lesser replacement.
That must have been incredibly reassuring for the disciples to hear.
Oh, absolutely. And what's really interesting is how this promise plays out in their lives. After Pentecost, we see these same disciples who were hiding in fear, suddenly bold and confident. It's like they finally understood what Jesus meant,
That's fascinating. So they experienced firsthand this transformation from having Jesus with them to having his spirit in them.
right? And here's what's really amazing: this isn't just ancient history. This same promise, this same presence, this same peace is available to believers today. It's not just a theological concept, it's a practical reality.
Well, that really brings it home, doesn't it? We're not just talking about something that happened 2,000 years ago, we're talking about a current reality.
Exactly. And in our anxiety ridden world, where people are desperately seeking peace through all sorts of external means, whether it's meditation apps or wellness routines or whatever, this promise of internal unshakable peace becomes even more relevant.
That's such a powerful point about our modern context.
And you know what really strikes me? The timing of this promise. Jesus doesn't wait until after his resurrection to make it. He gives it right in the middle of what looks like his darkest hour. That says something profound about the nature of God's peace.
So, it's not just about having peace when everything's going well.
Not at all. It's about having an anchor that holds steady regardless of the circumstances. And that's what makes this promise so revolutionary. It's not dependent on external conditions, but on an internal presence.